Hello, happy Saturday night. It is Saturday, November the 11th. It is Veterans Day, and I am just so thankful to all those who have served, and just want to just make sure I mention that right up front. A happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. Of course, we observe Veterans Day here in the United States, just recognizing and just saying thank you to all who have served in our armed forces, even those who currently serve. And we just are so thankful for everything that you've done, everything that you do every single day. So thank you and God bless you. But hope that you're having a great Saturday night. Of course, this is the weekend, and we're in the middle of, not in the middle of, we're in the early days of November here. I'm just so excited about the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion Collection sale. I mean, how many of you have already gone to Barnes & Noble, checked out the Criterion titles, picked up Criterion hauls? I've been enjoying seeing what people have been picking up from Barnes & Noble during the Criterion sale. I actually had a chance to pick up a few titles myself earlier this week, and I shared my haul earlier today in the video, so definitely check out that video on this channel. But hope you're having a great November so far. Of course, my Georgia Bulldogs, they did their thing tonight. I mean, they went out there, played the number 9 or number 10 team in the country, the Ole Miss Rebels, and they took care of business, winning 52-17 in Athens and just solidifying their spot as a team to be reckoned with in this national championship race. Now, you didn't come here to hear about college football. You came here for a Noirvember live stream, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I am super excited about these two titles that we're going to be talking about tonight. Going to spend about an hour talking about these two noir films, similar to what we did last year. We did a Noirvember stream for Thief and Detour. So Detour was like a 1940s film that is such a fascinating noir film, and then a more modern noir film from 1981, Thief. So we're doing a similar thing this year. We're going to talk about an older noir film, Sweet Smell of Success, and we're going to talk about a newer noir film in Blood Simple. Now, of course, they're both pretty old. Blood Simple came out in 1984, so that's almost 40 years ago. But relatively speaking, Blood Simple is more of a modern noir film versus a more classic noir film in Sweet Smell of Success. But it's Noirvember. We're talking about noir films, and it is a great time of the year to take advantage of the Criterion sale to pick up several noir titles and just celebrate all things film noir. Now, as we get into it, I see we've got a number of people out there in the chat. I'm going to get to you in just a moment, and I'm going to present some slides here that I have. Actually, I already have them here. I'll add them to the stage right now. And when we think about noir, it's, of course, noir and neo-noir. So what is noir? If somebody if you were walking down the street, somebody grabbed you by the arm, and they were just going nuts and going crazy, and they asked you in a crazy look, they just looked you right in the eye and said, "What is noir? Explain to me right now, what is noir?" What would you say? I know in my case, I probably wouldn't say anything. I'd be so shocked, I wouldn't really know what to say. But this is a good guide of what to say in that situation. In addition to, I'm going to get ready to call the police. Noir and neo-noir. Is it a genre, a movement, a fashion statement? However one defines noir, its appeal never seems to wane. Now, I also looked it up on my friend Google, and it says here, film noir, French, dark film, style of filmmaking characterized by such elements as cynical heroes or anti-heroes in some cases, stark lighting effects, frequent use of flashbacks, intricate plots, and an underlying existentialist philosophy. So the genre was prevalent mostly in American crime dramas of the post-World War II era. So that's noir and neo-noir. This picture that you see here is from the film Insomnia. Now it says here, noir is crime fiction featuring hard-boiled, cynical characters and bleak, sleazy settings. So That is interesting to know. So just wanted to lay that out there for you, and we'll get into some more slides in just a moment. Now, I'm going to go out here to the comments section and see what people are talking about. Hope that you are all having a great night. It is the weekend. It's Saturday night. And I tell you what, I cannot believe it is November already. I mean, we're already in the holiday season. How many of you are in the holiday spirit? Looking forward to Thanksgiving, Christmas, the New Year. Insane. Gare of the Thousand Books. Hi, James. Hello, Gare. Hope you're doing well. Hello to all, says an internet user. Hope you're doing fine out there. Culture Trini says hello. Hello, Culture. We have Tony, my neighbor, Basement Blues. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. You're saying both of these are great films. They really are. I mean, these two films are two of my absolute favorites in the Criterion Collection. We are in the middle of, not even in the middle, the early days of the Barnes & Noble sale, the 50% off sale, where you can get those Criterion titles at 50% off. And I'm here to tell you right now, both of these titles are highly, highly recommended. Now, in the case of, I'll go ahead and hold them up right now. Sweet Smell of Success, I would tell you, if you're into noir films, and if you don't have this title and you're thinking, what would be a good Criterion to pick up? I got it right here. Sweet Smell of Success. You got Burt Lancaster, you got Tony Curtis. Look no further than this film. This film is cinematic gold. It is an absolutely masterpiece of film noir, and I absolutely stand by it 100%. It's such a good film by Alexander MacKendrick. Now, Blood Simple is also a film that I highly, highly, highly recommend, but the complicating factor here, and the reason why I would hesitate to recommend this for this sale, is the fact that even though I love this film, I love this Blu-ray, Criterion is upgrading this to 4K in January. So one of the January releases from the Criterion Collection is a 4K upgrade of Spine 834 Blood Simple. So Blood Simple is coming out on 4K in January. Now, I would say if you are the kind of person that maybe you don't care about 4K, you really, Blu-ray is perfectly fine for you, and you really have no interest in the 4K format. You don't own a 4K player, you don't own a 4K TV, you just get DVDs and Blu-rays, and you're perfectly satisfied with that. If you fall in that category, or otherwise, maybe you have 4K TV, but you're fine with Blu-ray either way. If you fall in that category, then I would say go ahead and get Blood Simple on Blu-ray in Barnes & Noble. Now you'll get it for $19.99, $20. Great deal and a great opportunity to get this fantastic noir film. But if you do want it in its highest visual fidelity quality, you're probably going to want to hold off and wait for the January release on 4K. So, but yeah, both of these films are just stunning films that I highly recommend. So I'm with you, Tony. I recommend them both as well. Film Watcher said, hey, Film Watcher, Adrian. Happy Sunday morning to you, Adrian. It's almost Sunday morning to us here as well. I'm doing this super late, so I would imagine, many folks may not be able to join, but for whoever's able to join, I am happy that you're with us tonight. Basement Blues is saying, yay. Yes, it's a beautiful night. I just finished watching Breaker Morant in the Criterion Collection, a cool film based on true events. Okay, I don't think I've seen that one. And I've got to think, do I even have that title? That is a good question. I need to check my library to see if I actually have that one. I don't know for sure if I had that one or not. Film Watcher says, hey, Tony. People saying hello to one another. People saying hey to each other, greeting each other. I've yet to hit the sales. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about it, and I love the 24-hour criterion.com flash sale. I love that sale. It's a great sale, but it's time sensitive. You only have 24 hours, but it's also an opportunity to buy directly from Criterion and earn those points, because if you get 500 points, you get a $50 gift certificate. So, and it's a great way to support Criterion directly. But I love the Barnes & Noble sale because you have more time. You can go into the physical stores and actually peruse the titles. And, you just have a little more time to sort of contemplate what you want to buy. Of course, that additional time can be more dangerous for your wallet too. So there's pros and cons, of both. But yeah, hope you find what you're looking for when you hit the stores, Culture Trini. Can't believe the February announcements are next week. You know what? They are next week. Yeah, that almost fell off my radar. Yeah, they're going to be coming up here pretty soon, I believe, on Wednesday. So yeah, of course, as I customarily do, I'll be doing a live stream on that. But that really was not even on my radar. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. It just comes so quickly. Culture says, hey there, Tony, which really is going to be interesting to see what their February announcements are, because their January slate just killer. Criterion is coming out the gate in 2024 swinging. So absolutely looking forward to seeing what they are going to bring in February. See, Matt Mead says, hello, James, everyone. So far, I've grabbed the others: Princess Bride, One False Move, E2, Mama Tambien, and The Last Waltz. All of those are absolute bangers. I've seen all of them. They're all great additions from Criterion and highly recommended. So if anyone doesn't have any of those titles, I recommend all of those. The Last Waltz is one of the best concert films you will ever get on physical media. And that 4K edition, the 4K picture of The Last Waltz, it looks extraordinary. It's a 1978 film by Martin Scorsese of a concert by the band, and it looks beautiful on 4K. It looks absolutely stunning with that wonderful cinematography. It looks like it's a concert film, but it's shot in just a beautiful style by Martin Scorsese, and it just looks great. It just looks great on 4K. Basement Blues, great pickups to Matt. So Tony approves Matt's pickups. Adrian, hello there to you as well. Burt Lancaster is phenomenal. Sweet Smell of Success. He sure is. He and Tony Curtis, that whole cast is amazing. But Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis are just through the moon in Sweet Smell of Success. Says, thanks. I'm sipping on a Sam Adams. I am sipping on peppermint tea. Definitely getting in the holiday spirit. All right, Matt. Okay, I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to pull back up to the stage here, these slides, and we're going to start talking about these beautiful movies. These beautiful movies here. Of course, the first film we're going to talk about is this film right here, Blood Simple. This is a film that is currently available on Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection. You'll see it in Barnes & Noble stores in this wonderful Blu-ray edition. This film holds the distinction of being the directorial debut, the first film by our friends Joel and Ethan Coen, the brothers who are just superstar filmmaking combos. This is their first film. It's from 1984, stars Frances McDormand, who of course is the wife currently of Joel Coen. And this is their first film. And from my money, it is really up there for me. I would almost say it's definitely top 3 of my favorite Coen brothers films. If I had to rank their films, I'd say No Country for Old Men, number 1 for me by far. And then maybe Fargo might be slightly ahead of Blood Simple, but Blood Simple is definitely up there. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with The Big Lebowski and, all their other films. But Blood Simple is just so amazing. It is basically the story of this man who owns a bar, who basically has a wife who is Frances McDormand's character, Abby, and she's cheating on him with one of his employees, and that leads one thing to another. Of course, there's a plot to have them killed. He has a private investigator look into them, and you see those machinations of the relationship between the cheating wife, her lover, and the bar owner and this private investigator in this wonderful tale that's called Blood Simple. This is of course the Criterion case. This here is the movie poster. This is, of course, Dan Hedaya, who plays Marty. He is the husband who owns this bar. You see these wonderful neon colors. This is what makes me excited about the 4K picture that's coming out, or the 4K edition of Blood Simple that is coming out. Now, this Blu-ray is based off of at the time, a new restored 4K digital transfer. So I believe that the 4K digital transfer on this 4K edition is the same 4K transfer on this Blu-ray, but it's going to have Dolby Vision. And I just think that with these wonderful neon colors and the way this film was shot, I'm expecting this 4K to look very, very nice and to really be just a nice uptick in picture quality over this Blu-ray, but we shall see. But this is Dan Hedaya. He plays Marty. He is the husband. He's the bar owner. You have Frances McDormand here. She is Abby. She is the wife, of course, in this case, and she is, cheating on her husband for her own reasons that she knows of. With this man here, who is played by John Getz, he is Ray. So he is the employee of Marty in the bar, and he's cheating with the boss's wife, so to speak. So that's the tale. This is the private investigator played by Emmet Walsh. He plays Private Detective Visser, and he is a sleazy character. But I just love the way the Coen brothers wrote these characters. I mean, this is a wonderful modern noir film that just does a beautiful job of presenting these sleazy characters. It's just the very definition of noir films. You have these sleazy characters in these bleak situations, and it is just a great noir Texas story. It's almost like a neo-noir because it takes place in Texas in the 1980s. It's got that sort of that Texas Western vibe and just a beautiful noir story with all of these characters. I won't get into too much of the plot points because I don't want to spoil this film, but it is just one of my favorite Coen brothers films. I'll actually read the back of the Criterion case here. It says, Joel and Ethan Coen's career-long, darkly comic road trip through misfit America began with this razor-sharp, hard-boiled neo-noir set somewhere in Texas. So you don't really know what the town is. It's just somewhere in Texas, where a sleazy bar owner, Dan Hedaya, releases a torrent of violence with one murderous thought. Actor Emmet Walsh looms over the proceedings as a slippery private eye with a yellow suit, a cowboy hat, and no moral compass. And Frances McDormand's cunning debut performance. This is her feature debut as an actress. Set her on the road to stardom. Of course, she's won multiple Academy Awards. She's just wonderful in everything, pretty much, Frances McDormand. The tight scripting and inventive style that have marked the Coens' work for decades are all here in their first film, in which cinematographer Barry Sonnenfeld abandons black and white chiaroscuro for neon signs and jukebox colors that combine with Carter Burwell's haunting score. The score is a big part of this film, and really the score and the music really makes a lot of these noir films, and this is no exception. The wonderful music in Blood Simple, that piano score, absolutely, it just envelops you and just immerses you into this film and just makes you feel like you are really in this movie, going through it with these characters. So his haunting score to lurid and thrilling effect, blending of elements from Pulp Fiction and low-budget horror flicks, Blood Simple and reinvented the film noir for a new generation, marking the arrival of a filmmaking ensemble that would transform the American independent cinema scene. So, yeah, this is a more modern film noir. And again, with these Noirvember streams that I've done, like the one last year and this year, I'd like to take a classic or older noir film and a more modern noir film and just talk about it. Of course, Blood Simple is one of my favorite Coen brothers films, along with this wonderful film that just got a 4K that I cannot wait to check out on 4K, Fargo. Love this movie. Of course, it stars the wonderful Frances McDormand. And I would have to say Fargo probably just barely edges out Blood Simple for me, but Blood Simple is just one of the all-time great noir films. It's just, what can I say? You know, it's the Coen brothers. They filmed this. This was their directorial debut, and they filmed it with a limited budget, and they relied on, you know, mostly natural lighting, you know, giving this film a really, you know, raw and authentic feel. So this is their first feature film, and they shot it on a pretty slim budget, and it absolutely works tremendously. Just a wonderful film all the way around. It's really a modern take on the classic noir film. It deals with, you know, themes of infidelity, deals with murder, mistaken identities, and it's just a great film to check out. It's one of those films that I don't want to spoil it for you. You just need to experience it for yourself. So let me remove this here, or actually, let me see, is that the last slide on Blood Simple? No, it's not. You see this wonderful scene here that's on the cover. This is a very important scene in the film with these characters. And again, you see here some other supporting characters here, and these wonderful neon colors in the bar. This is part of why I'm really excited about the upcoming 4K edition. I think it's going to just absolutely bring these images and these scenes to life. I think the 4K with that Dolby Vision is going to tear this image up. They're taking that 4K restoration, putting it on a 4K disc, and putting that Dolby Vision gray to it, and I think it's going to really make that image pop. This is a really fascinating scene from the film that I won't spoil the significance of it. But yeah, that is the wonderful Blood Simple. So that came out in 1984. Now I want to hear more what y'all think about these films. So let's see. Culture says, I'm always recommending Blood Simple to everyone. Yeah, it is one of the Coen brothers' best films, bar none, bar none. If you have to, if you could recommend 3 Coen brothers films, it's No Country for Old Men, Fargo, Blood Simple, done. You know, now they've done other great films. The Big Lebowski is wonderful. You know, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Wonderful. They have done many amazing films, but for me, it would be those 3 that I would name to anyone to definitely check out first. I've had Sweet Smell of Success for a long time. It's also a favorite of Paul Thomas Anderson. Okay. It's a good one. I would tell y'all right now, if you ask me, hey, what is a noir film that I would recommend for the Barnes & Noble sale? In addition to Double Indemnity, which is an absolute no-brainer, film noir. If you don't have that one, if you're into film noir and you want a good noir recommendation, Double Indemnity all day long, get that. If you have Double Indemnity, then get Sweet Smell of Success. There are just so many amazing noir titles to check out. Hello, good evening to you, Laren. Hope you're doing well. See, now Tony says, I am okay with keeping my Blu-ray for Blood Simple. No need for me to upgrade. Yeah, totally understand that, because this is using the same 4K restoration on this Blu-ray that's going to be on that 4K. So it really, I am assuming it's going to be a nice upgrade, but who knows? It may or may not be. So we shall see. Let's see, Adrian. Hey there, Laren. And oh, by the way, this Blu-ray does look terrific as it is. So I don't blame you, Tony. Hey, Adrian. Let's see here. Hey, Tony. People saying hey to each other. Tony saying hey to Laren. So let's see. Hey, Seuss. I've stopped buying Blu-rays. I've been shocked by buying them, seeing the 4K being released next month or so, or 2. Happened with Breathless and Dreams and Lost Highway. Yeah, I completely understand. Completely understand. You know, but sometimes it's hard to guess, like, what titles are they going to upgrade? Because if it's a film that you really want, I would tell you that if it's a film you really, really want, even though you might think, well, they might release it on 4K, the possibility exists that they may not for a long time or even ever. So if it's a film that you really, really love, I would almost tell you, to just go ahead and get the Blu-ray edition, because the reality is, even though they could potentially upgrade to 4K, you never know when that is going to actually happen. And there's a possibility it may not ever happen. So you might as well go ahead and enjoy the film on physical media in the best available format. And then if the time comes that that is upgraded, then so be it. But, at least enjoy the film. Where do you guys come down on black and white versus color noir? James has cited examples of both that are superb, but in my heart of film hearts, I think of noir as black and white first. Yeah, well, that is a great, great question. And for me, I think that for a lot of those older movies, yes, that black and white, visuals does sort of lend to the idea of noir. It sort of helps sell the idea of it more. But I think that these color films, with the right mood and the characters and the writing, is more of a modern take on the noir genre. So it's not in black and white, but because it's going for a similar mood and vibe, similar types of characters and situations, you still sell the idea of it being a noir film because it has those other traits. So, but in terms of which one I would prefer, I kind of like them both. I know I can't really say I have a strong preference either way. I can really appreciate those classic black and white noirs, but I also like these modern noirs as well. So I kind of like them both. So far, I picked up Double Indemnity and Lady Snowblood. Haven't seen either. Yeah. Well, Laren, when you get a chance to see Double Indemnity, let us know what you think about it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's probably my favorite Billy Wilder film. And it is just phenomenal. It is so well written. It is Double Indemnity, folks, is one of the best written films you will ever see in terms of in terms of the screenplay. The dialogue is so on point. It is just an absolutely wonderfully written movie. One of the best written films you will ever see. There's definitely a charm to black and white noir from the 40s and 50s that color doesn't capture, but there's some great color film noir. LA Confidential comes to mind. Yeah, you know what? I have LA Confidential on Blu-ray. I've never seen it. I need to see LA Confidential for sure. Thank you, Matt. In a Lonely Places, yes, that's a good one. Humphrey Bogart, that's a good one. I actually need to revisit that one. I haven't seen it in a couple of years. See, also the one that I picked up, One False Move, is a nice, see, that's another one. Another modern day noir film. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, In a Lonely Place is fantastic. Yes. Walsh was such a good character actor. Yep. Emmet Walsh, yeah. Also recommend Pick Up on South Street with Richard Widmark. Yes. Oh my goodness. Pick Up on South Street is, I've done a review of that title on this channel. Absolutely fantastic film. One of the standout characters is Teresa Randall. She is absolutely phenomenal in that film. I love her character. She's good in that film, Pick Up on South Street, and she's also good in the Alfred Hitchcock film starring James Stewart, Rear Window. So she is just terrific as an actress, and I love her on Pick Up on South Street. She plays a character named Mo in that film, and she is wonderful. She is the heart and soul of that film. I haven't, Matt, but still need to check it out. I like Widmark in a lot of Westerns. And Richard Widmark is also very good in Pick Up on South Street. That's just a really good noir film, for sure. I love Frances in Nomadland. I have not seen Nomadland yet. I know that she won the Oscar for that, but I have not yet seen her performance in that film. Blood Simple is one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah, it's a good one. It's an all-time classic. And it's the Coen brothers' first film. Man, it is so good. So good. Tony says, mine too. Yep. It's the same old song playing in my head. Yes. I love the music in Blood Simple. I mean, the score is great, but they're also playing some really good, like I think Motown hits in that film. Bit off topic. Do you think Killers of the Flower Moon will get a physical media release? Of course. I mean, it should. I don't think it's been announced yet, but we should be seeing something on. We should be seeing the announcement of the Blu-ray and 4K for that coming out probably within the next couple of months, I would guess. But we shall see. Physical media is still alive and well, folks. It's not gone by the wayside just yet. I don't care what Best Buy says or does. Physical media is still here. Matt Mead said, yes. For my own selfish reasons, I never wanted Criterion to do 4K. Oh, because you have a lot of their Blu-rays? Yeah. It's not on Criterion, but everyone needs to watch Kiss of Death with Richard Widmark and Victor Mature. Widmark plays Tommy Udo and is a bone-chilling maniacal villain. I have not heard of that one. Kiss of Death with Richard Widmark. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. So yeah, so we have talked about Blood Simple, Joel and Ethan Coen's directorial debut, their first film. And now we're going to switch gears and go back a few years, a few decades before Blood Simple came out, about 27 years before it came out. And we're going to talk about the film Sweet Smell of Success. Now, this is a wonderful classic noir starring Burt Lancaster as J.J. Hunsaker. And you have Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis, he's the father of our favorite IRS agent from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Jamie Lee Curtis. This is her father, Tony Curtis, and he plays Sidney Falco in this film. And it is an absolutely wonderful noir film, really about the corruption of media, whether it's the columnist J.J. Hunsaker, the power-hungry columnist, or the publicity agent who is played by Tony Curtis, who is trying desperately to stay within the favor of J.J. Hunsaker and seeking his favor to get favorable coverage in his newspaper column for his clients. And just all the machinations and the backdoor dealings that goes on with people who are involved in the press, and just how corrupt the press and the media can be is really a lot of what Sweet Smell of Success is about, and just how people try to use media to manipulate people and to, in some cases, ruin people, build people up, and just how corrupt that whole system can be. So that is a big part of what this film is about. This is a digipack, as you can see here. I'll go ahead and open this up. But yeah, it's a digipack, and I believe it's still a digipack currently. But you see the inside. You have a nice, it's not a staple booklet, but it's a nice, pretty thick book here. You have J.J. Hunsaker here. Oops. Burt Lancaster's character. He is a newspaper columnist. And he has a younger sister that he is basically controlling and trying to control who is good enough to be in a relationship with her and who is not. And if you're not good enough to date her, then he's going to basically use his power of the media to get rid of you, so to speak. But yeah, this is a fantastic film. And I'll read the back of this in just a second, but let me go through these wonderful visuals here. This is the movie poster. You see Burt Lancaster at the top. Tony Curtis says the world famed columnist who commands 60 million readers. He can make a star, break a senator, or fix a politician in 10 words or less. So it's really an example of the pen is mightier than the sword. The power of the media, the power of the press is what this film is all about. You have Tony Curtis, and this is the kid who had ideas about taking over Tony Curtis. So yeah, this is the wonderful wonderful movie poster. Beware these gentlemen of the press. Yeah, the press can be a mess, and it's one of those things where, what was old is still new. There's nothing new under the sun. The power of the media and the corruption of the media 60, 70 years ago, as portrayed in this film, is really present today. We see the similar dynamics going on today in our media. This is Burt Lancaster, who plays J.J. Hunsaker. He is the powerful newspaper columnist. This is Tony Curtis. He plays Sidney Falco. He is the publicity agent, or who basically is trying to gain favor with Burt Lancaster and his newspaper column. You have the wonderful Susan Harris, who plays Susan Hunsaker in this film. She is the sister of J.J. Hunsaker, Burt Lancaster's character, and he's basically trying to control her and control who she can be in a relationship with. You have the wonderful Barbara Nichols, who plays Rita in this film. She is sort of a love interest, of Falco. He basically uses and manipulates her for his purposes. You have the wonderful Susan here, and this wonderful backdrop. This takes place in New York City, this story. And this film, this is one of those films, folks, that with all of these 4K upgrades, this is one of those titles, as I think about a short list of films on Criterion Blu-ray that I would absolutely love to see get a 4K. This is one of those films. I would love to see Sweet Smell of Success get a 4K digital restoration and a 4K disc, Dolby Vision. I think it would look fantastic. This is a bit of a dated Blu-ray, and I think that a new 4K with a 4K restoration and Dolby Vision grading would make this film really, really pop. I love those black and white films restored on the 4K, and I think this film would benefit from that treatment. But let me know in the comments section what you think about that. This is J.J. Hunsaker. You see here, this is an article about this powerful newsman. And there you have it. So we'll remove that from the stage, and I am back here, but I will read the back of the Criterion case. It says here, Sweet Smell of Success. In the swift, cynical Sweet Smell of Success, directed by Alexander MacKendrick, Burt Lancaster stars as the vicious Broadway gossip columnist J.J. Hunsaker and Tony Curtis as Sidney Falco, the unprincipled press agent Hunsaker ropes into smearing the up-and-coming jazz musician romancing his beloved sister. Featuring deliciously unsavory dialogue in an acid, brilliantly structured script by Clifford Odets and Ernest Lehman, and noirish neon cityscapes from Oscar-winning cinematographer James Wong Ho, Sweet Smell of Success is a cracklingly cruel dispatch from the kill or be killed wilds of 1950s Manhattan. This is a 1957 film. It's 1950s Manhattan. I absolutely love films set in New York City during different periods, whether it's the 70s or the 80s, in this case, the 1950s. Or films like Naked City from 1948, seeing that wonderful city in different periods of time. In this case, this is 1957, Sweet Smell of Success, Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis. You see the city, you see these men, these powerful men doing their thing in the media, and it is a beautiful sight to behold. I would just love to see that come out on 4K, but as it stands, it has a wonderful Blu-ray edition from the Criterion Collection that I highly, highly recommend. This would be, if you're into noir films, Sweet Smell of Success is a film I can highly recommend for this not upcoming. The sale's already here for this current Barnes & Noble sale. Definitely consider picking up Sweet Smell of Success. It is a great one. So let me go back to your comments here and see what you are saying here. See, physical media is still the best. Easily, I love my Blu-rays and 4Ks, says Film Watcher. Yes, me as well. Compare Tony Curtis in Sweet Smell of Success to his role in Some Like It Hot. I tell you what, totally different roles. Of course, Some Like It Hot is a little bit more lighthearted. It has a more of a comedic flair to it. Sweet Smell of Success is a more hard-boiled, serious take. And I think Tony Curtis is brilliant in both roles. It's hard for me to pick which one I would prefer. I just love them both. I mean, I think that if I absolutely had to pick, I would say Sweet Smell of Success. I think Tony Curtis is just spot on in that film. I think he's also brilliant and wonderful in Some Like It Hot as well. But I just slightly prefer his performance and his character in Sweet Smell of Success as Sidney Falco. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. But yeah, I mean, with Sweet Smell of Success, you're looking at a film that, I mean, just works on so many levels. I mean, it really embodies the essence of film noir. This was directed by Alexander MacKendrick. It's from 1957, and it is an absolute masterpiece of the idea of morally ambiguous characters. You know, when you look at J.J. Hunsaker, the newspaper columnist, and you look at Sidney Falco, played by Tony Curtis, you look at their motivations and what they're trying to do, there's a bit of moral ambiguity in their actions and their motivations. And the way that Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis portray those characters in those levels of complexity is just brilliant. I mean, they're not just straight up black and white characters like, okay, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy. There's a little bit of moral ambiguity and a gray area in their characters that really makes Sweet Smell of Success work absolutely beautifully. You can tell that Tony Curtis and Burt Lancaster, they're both snakes, but there's also positive aspects of their character as well. So it just really adds to the beautiful complexity that they brought to the table. So a little known fact about this film is that Tony Curtis wore elevator shoes because Burt Lancaster was a bit of a towering figure. He was a big man. And Tony Curtis actually wore elevator shoes to appear taller next to, of course, Burt Lancaster. So that really helped to emphasize the whole power dynamics between their characters. So just really, really interesting things to think about when you look at that particular film. But I absolutely love this film. It's a beautiful film noir. I could watch this over and over and over again. It talks about the power of the media and how the media can be used to manipulate ideas and people. It can be used to build someone up and tear them down, all in 10 words or less. The Sweet Smell of Success is a film that not only takes a look at life in the 1950s, but it also gives us a glimpse of life today. It is as prescient today as it was, or is very prescient in the sense of looking to the future of how media would still be today, as it's portrayed here in the 1950s. So really love this film. It looks beautiful on this Blu-ray disc, but I can tell that it would look even more beautiful with a nice new restoration and put on a 4K disc. So fingers crossed that we perhaps will see that someday. But yeah, these are the two film noir films right here. Blood Simple, Sweet Smell of Success. Both highly, highly recommended in the Barnes & Noble Criterion Collection sale. I would just caution you that if you are a 4K enthusiast, you might want to hold off on Blood Simple, hold off and maybe not get the Blu-ray. Wait on the 4K that's coming out in January. But if you don't care about 4K and you just want to have this film, go ahead and get the Criterion Blu-ray. It's available now at 50% at Barnes & Noble. And I highly recommend getting Sweet Smell of Success as well on Blu-ray. And I would love to see this get a 4K upgrade at some point. But as it stands, these are two great, amazing films. So let me do that real quick. But yeah, both are highly, highly recommended. Well, let me know in the let me know in the comments section below. What do you think about these films? Let me know in the comments section below. What do you think about these films? And what are some other noir films that you would recommend as we're still in the early days of this Barnes & Noble sale? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you all for joining tonight, and we'll look to see you all next time at the movies. Now, I will see if we have any further comments. And I think we got one more and we'll wrap it up. But I do appreciate y'all joining for this edition of Noirvember. And let me know what other noir films you are watching this month. Lancaster had one of the most distinctive voices during that era in Hollywood, same with others like Cary Grant and James Stewart. Absolutely agreed. 100%. Culture is saying good night later. Matt is saying hit that like button for James. Thank you so much. Laren saying good night, James. And I will leave it there. Hope you all have a great night, and we'll look to see you next time at the movies. Peace, as my phone is ringing. Let me get that. Good night, everybody.